This is an alfalfa field. Before the flood, it was a nice fescue pasture.
Matt Reynolds taking us onto his family farm in Duncan.
The water killed it.
Is it coming back?
No, it's not coming back.
Last August, heavy rains caused the Gila River to rise.
There's this water rolling like crazy through here. And then by sunup, the whole farm was underwater.
At least $300,000 in damage and lost revenue after the levee that protects this farm failed. And it's not the first time.
Just the way of life here, we've been getting flooded several times over the last 100 years. It's really put a hurt on this town. It kind of killed it. After the floods from the 80s and 90s, a lot of people left Duncan.
Terry Hinton, the town manager for Duncan.
Yeah, it was right to the edge.
Hinton was on the job just 3 weeks when sections of the levee system here failed. The Army Corps of Engineers did some emergency repair work, but it's not their levee and it's not FEMA accredited. Hinton can't even find records on who built it or when it was built.
Who inspects this levee?
Nobody. Me.
You.
Yeah, well, you know.
Who should be inspecting it?
I don't know. You know, no one takes responsibility for it, so I don't know who I could even talk to.
This answers your question.
ASU professor Ed Kavazanjian calls levees that no one claims orphan levees.
And so there's often very little known about those, about their condition, whether anybody's inspecting them. Is there any kind of hazard communication or response plan?
Duncan is an example of what can happen when levees are orphaned.
I don't think people even know about Duncan. I think Duncan is like off the radar of everybody on the planet.
Stan Ellis's restaurant is right along the levee in Duncan.
This is what it looks like right now.
The water last August thankfully stopped at the threshold to the door.
Come right close to as close as it could get without getting in there and getting underneath flooring and stuff.
The ABC 15 investigators found a federal database maintained by the Army Corps of Engineers includes about 150 Arizona levees, but not everyone. Duncan's levee isn't included, and
Just being on a list doesn't really guarantee that it's being properly operated, properly maintained, or that the risks associated with it have been, identified and communicated to the public. Just 8% of them are within the jurisdiction of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. So,
the latest infrastructure report card by the American Society of Civil Engineers gives Arizona a C- for levees in 2020. They found over 270 levees have likely not been screened to see what kind of condition they're in.
you want to have some kind of hazard ranking associated with that database. But to my knowledge, some kind of global hazard ranking system doesn't exist.
Local jurisdictions like a flood control district or a town or city are in charge of their levees, but oversight is spotty. We reached out to the Arizona Department of Water Resources because they supervise the safety of dams, but a spokesman said they don't do levees, saying state statute puts levees outside their jurisdiction. And for many, like Matt,
It doesn't look like much of a levee right here, though.
Not much, no.
they just want protection and help too.
Places like this are forgotten. We don't exist to a lot of people. We're just a little dot on the map that you can read.